Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. It's a beautiful morning here in the parking lot of the Lowellville Mennonite Church. The church is quiet. It's not Easter morning as I'm making this recording. We made it earlier. It premiered on Easter morning, right around sunrise, and maybe some of you are seeing it for a second time as we are playing it during our regular Easter service. Normally, the church would not be quiet. It would be buzzing today. And actually, there's quite a bit of traffic out on the roads right now, as you can hear cars behind me and another car approaching on Ridge Road. In just a few minutes past this time on a normal Sunday morning, a lot of people would be coming into church getting ready for our Easter breakfast. People would be dressed in their nice clothes, and the church would be full for the Sunday morning service. And I always found that encouraging, that even people who do not normally come to church would choose to come on this particular day because of what this day means to the Christian world. This is ironic because while the church is empty today, normally it would be full, and it would be full because of what some women found when they went to see the tomb very early in the morning. The resurrection account from the book of Mark, chapter 16, verses 1 through 6, says, "When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome brought spices so they might go and anoint him. And very early, on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. And they were saying to one another, 'Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?' And when they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled back. And as they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, 'Do not be afraid. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He is not here.'" And it's because of that empty tomb that on a normal Easter morning, Lowellville Mennonite Church would be buzzing. But this is not a normal Easter morning. This is not an ordinary day. These are not ordinary times for us here as we wait out this pandemic. So it's sunrise. The sun is just getting ready to creep up. I'll try and turn this camera around and not shake it too much. Just getting ready to creep up over the horizon here just across the Black River. It's a beautiful morning. You can hear birds chirping, and we had a couple of geese flying overhead a minute ago. But it's still quiet, just as it was on that very early morning 2,000 some years ago. And now my camera's a little shaky here, and I don't have it quite right. There we go. I don't remember too many sunrise services, and as I was a child, I don't remember hardly anything that was ever said. I was not real fond of sunrise services when I was younger. I do remember one quite clearly. We were in a cemetery, which is an interesting place to have a sunrise service, and there were some houses around. And part of our service was the blowing of a horn to signify the raising of the Christ, and someone raised a window in a house nearby and said, "We're trying to sleep here. We know Christ has risen, but could you be quiet so we could get some sleep?" Well, that one I didn't forget. That was a sunrise service that I'll remember. And I have a feeling I'll remember this one as well. I enjoyed our Palm Sunday service last Sunday. Some of you got to see our family dog that our son owns that we are keeping for him until we can see him again, poking her nose up over the table as Connie was talking and seeing that curled up tail. I also enjoyed listening to Marvin singing and watching the family cat wander behind him. Our homes are filled with living things more than just human beings. And the earth is full of things that are living more than just human beings and animals. The trees, the vegetation, the grass will soon be green. Nature has not stopped. The sap flowed, and we made maple syrup this year, and things are moving along as normal. But someone mentioned at our delegate meeting last Saturday that the earth is getting a much-needed Sabbath. Pollution is down, fossil fuel burning is down, and even though you can hear a lot of traffic behind me this morning, traffic on a normal basis is down quite a bit. The earth is regenerating in ways that it has not had a chance to do before. The earth is much more than human beings. It's difficult for me as a person to understand the sweeping power of the resurrection that goes beyond just what we are as human beings. The resurrection covers all of creation. In the book of Ephesians, Paul writes, "God has made known to us the mystery of his will, according to his good pleasure that he set forth in Christ as a plan for the fullness of time to gather up all things in him, things in heaven and things on earth. In other words, the entire universe is different because of the resurrection of Christ. We're not going to be the same after this pandemic. Everything's going to be changed just a little bit. We're going to remember this. And we are also not the same after we encounter Christ. He changes us in every way possible. And it's my hope for you on this Easter day that the reality of the risen Christ will transform you into the incredible person that God has called you to be. Happy Easter, everyone. Here at the Lowellville Mennonite Church, the sun has risen. Christ has risen. He is risen indeed.